I actually support two different community engaged learning courses. One's a fourth year course where students are in placements for 8 hours a week for both the fall and the winter term, and also have a seminar course attached to it to reflect on their placement and also reflect on what that means for understanding urban studies. And then the second is an option in a second year course, which is our Introduction to Urban Studies course, where students can choose to be placed in a community organization for 12 hours total to use that as the basis for their final project. I think that's always a bit of a challenge, especially working through the University of Toronto as the primary basis, in particular because we focus on student learning as the primary objective. But I always try to maintain open lines of communication, make sure that the projects that my students are working on are community generated and community supported, and allow for iterative sort of responses or changes, alterations as we go through each project, so that the community can engage with me on things that are necessary to alter or change as we go along. I think mutual trust and respect is at first based on communication. So being open and accessible to community partners and also students about the various challenges and opportunities that these placements provide, and being engaged in the work. So knowing what the projects are, knowing what my students are working on, and supporting both the community and the students in various capacities as those things come up. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Other than that, I think it's being receptive to other sort of asks from our community partners, whether it's supporting other events or looking for volunteers, and doing whatever might be necessary to support them as they are working on their own particular mission as a community organization. I seek feedback first by maintaining open lines of communication, being available and accessible to the community partners' needs and desires throughout the entirety of the placement. I think that sort of sets the basis for allowing community partners to be honest when things are going well, but also when things are not going so well. In addition, we do provide opportunities for our placements to give us feedback anonymously through surveys at the end of the term, and also in some cases longer term placements through evaluations of the students who are placed there. I think recognition is sometimes really challenging, and knowing what appropriate recognition is part of why it's so challenging. First, I connect them with the Center for Community Partnerships, which has different opportunities for them for professional development and also access to our library system, which some partners really find quite useful. In some courses, we provide an ability for our students to showcase the work that they've done in community and bring our partners into that showcase so they can see what their students did, but also what other community partners are working on. So it works as both a bit of a networking and also learning experience across the sector. And then finally, just being available to support them in other sorts of needs that they might have in partnership with the Urban Studies program. So sometimes that looks like recruiting volunteers for them. Sometimes it looks like advertising for their different events. Sometimes it looks like me actually being part of events that they have. So finding ways that to make them feel like it's not a transactional relationship, but that we recognize their actual needs as a community organization.